Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Oh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Seedery. This is episode 532. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, with a little Nate After Dark. Nate.
KC, how are we?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Real talk for just a second. I've like subtly been making a push, and I feel like I've even mentioned it on the show. I'm kind of making a push to be known at times by KC. I've always dug that. I dig that. I've always dug.
I kind of miss my childhood nickname, to be honest.
Dopey. I mean, we can make that a thing.
Yeah. Because then I was like in middle school, like right before I moved, it started to just become Dope. And I was like, that's kind of a cool nickname. You know?
That's pretty
When
dope.
people just start calling me Dope. By people, I just mean teammates.
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? Would any of those teammates, before we get into ball talk, in chat, Casey and Dope, would any of those teammates that you mentioned, do you think that they would be able to assist you in a 100 men versus one silverback gorilla scenario? Have you heard about this?
No.
It's all over the place. So there's this thing going around. People speculating, could 100 men take on one silverback gorilla? Who wins?
The gorilla.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page.
92 of them aren't going to be anywhere near the gorilla to do damage.
That's
so
what
reality,
I'm saying. People are like, well, there's 100 people. I'm like, how many people do you think can feasibly have a hand on this gorilla?
That's what I'm saying.
In this scenario.
This silverback gorilla is
unreal.
It's basically just 9.5 rounds of 1v8. That's it. I think you can handle that.
I was gonna say, are you taking a silverback gorilla 1v8?
No.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I'm taking the
gorilla.
Are we as the person. Yeah, no. Yeah. I'm taking the gorilla as the bet, but
exactly.
I'm not, yeah.
No, collectively, no, not taking the gorilla. Yeah. All right, glad. I'm glad. I just want to make sure we're on the same page there, because that's been the viral question of the week, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
I don't think people understand the difference of like a silverback versus just a regular old monkey, you know? I don't think they get it. I don't think there's a lot of animals in the animal kingdom that could take on a silverback.
It's a very, very short list.
Yeah.
Let's get into some ball. And last thing before we get into ball talk, just keeping it real life here, folks. Huge props, huge shout out to Nate.
No.
This guy's just been going through it at work. He's been grinding, and he's making it happen on this late Wednesday night. So he's doing it for you folks. So, you know, shoot him a word of appreciation. Thanks, if you think of it.
Thanks. I'm blessed. I'm just a big complainer.
Let's get into the ball. Nate, I was scanning the interwebs today, and I came across the article, the
World
annual
Wide Web.
A little bit of props in the chat, Nate. You rule. I agree. I second that.
Thanks, Josh.
And look who else is in the chat.
Mom, come on.
Mom.
You're embarrassing me.
Mom's in the chat. Let's get into ball talk. Like 10 attempts later. I was scanning the interwebs and I saw the classic "if the postseason started today"
Was it you that started
scenario. I've been.
You're the one.
This has been my bit for years. I feel like, and I'm not
polarizing.
I didn't create the trend by any stretch, but I feel like I was one of the people that started it earliest. Not in terms of the trend itself, but I was dropping these "if the postseason started today" graphics like on day 2 of the season. A lot. You'd have to be like a real OG follower to remember those days. But I was shockingly just driving people up a wall on social, just cussing me out, saying that I should just do terrible things. But we continue. But anyway, the only reason I wanted to talk, I wanted to go over this tonight was because I want to get your thoughts. I don't feel like the field, should the postseason have started like today, I don't feel like the field is that far off from what could realistically be. And I know there's going to be people rolling their eyes like, what are we doing? It's basically like May just started. April's officially done, or within like an hour and a half, officially done. But if you look at the field, I don't feel like it's that far off, and I'll send you what I'm looking at. But
text,
Nate, I'm not gonna lie, I like what I'm seeing. I really do. In the American League, and again, this is coming into today, so okay, if it's changed by like half a game, don't get upset with me. This is coming into today. Out of the American League, we're looking at Tigers and Yankees getting the byes. And then we're looking at wild card series matchups, Red Sox at Mariners, Astros at Guardians. That's not bad.
It checks out.
The only thing I would like to see different, if I'm being completely honest, is maybe slot the Royals in
instead of Texas.
Well, in this scenario, I don't think Texas is getting in.
I thought they were the last wild card spot. No, they're tied.
Again, well, this is coming into today, so it's very possible that this changed. Well, actually, no, they're down to the A's. But in this scenario,
I like it. I like this.
Let me ask you this.
I get what you say, the Royals, because like I think that like any baseball fan who enjoys a team outside of their own team can get. I feel like they can wrap their mind around the Royals. Like you can see this being an up and coming team. You can see a superstar. You can see an MVP. You could see like how things are starting to churn for the Royals. I think it's impressive that they're 16-15, considering they are really struggling offensively. Like awful. Like the least runs scored in the AL, awful.
I mean, it's literally, correct me if I'm wrong, it's Bobby Witt and then everybody else at this rate. No?
They've scored 1 run more than the Rockies.
And the Rockies are on pace to win, I'm pretty, like 24
30 games.
24, 25, 30 games, somewhere in there.
Yeah. That's nuts, man. It just goes to show how good their pitching is. If the fact that like they can hold they're 8-2 in their last 10. And they're not scoring runs. It's just crazy. So I like that thought. I like the thought of them slotting in because you got to feel like the offense is going to come around.
They're a top 5 rotation in terms of ERA.
Yeah.
Or staff, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Ask me.
Do you, when it's all said and done, doing your best to set your bias aside, do you feel like the Yankees are a buy-worthy team?
I would say yes, because you're not getting a ton of production. I mean, Cody Bellinger's done nothing offensively. I think Goldschmidt is overachieving, but it's not crazy to see him hitting over 300. I think he's hitting like 360 right now. That's not going to stick. But I could see him being back to form and hitting for average. He's spraying the ball all over the field. Power hasn't come yet, so like you got to wonder if that power starts to come. I think their defense is a tick up from last year. They're doing this with like a one-man bullpen. Like there's just no one outside of Luke Weaver. You can kind of give Tim Hill his flowers, but like outside of that, no one in the bullpen's performing. Rodon, low-key, kind of doing his thing so far this year. You got Luis Gil returning in...
Is he May?
I would say end of May. Would be a generous thing. Yeah, dude. Like, Jazz has looked pretty bad offensively too, but like, I don't see it changing too much. Like, I think Aaron Judge, we'll talk about him later, but I think that'll start to regress slightly, but like, it's still Aaron Judge. And then everyone else is, I think they're in a position that looks really good. I would buy. Max Fried looks like he's very settled in. You know, whether this team and roster is good enough to go deep into the postseason is a different story, but I think you're looking at what the Yankees are. I don't think it's anything crazy.
I would hate to see what happens if you lose Max Fried to some sort of injury.
Oh, it'd be terrible.
I don't know where that ship goes if that happens.
I don't know, man.
I mean, personally, I'd love it, but you know, for baseball,
yeah. But I'm in like, I don't know if there's other fans or fan bases that can relate to like finally getting to see these youthful guys play every day. Like finally getting to see these guys we've been told and we've heard about for so long, like get their chance and get their opportunity. Like Jason Dominguez from the left side is crazy good right now. OPS over 800, hitting over 300. Right side, terrible. But like you see these guys that are they're playing every day. They're getting to figure it out. They're getting to go through the ebbs and flows. And like, even if this season doesn't equal the same success as last year's, it's nice to see dudes get their chance. I don't know if maybe there's other fan bases out there that feel the same. Does that sound weird? It kind of sounds like a consolation prize. I'm not meaning for it to sound that way, but I don't know. I'm going to string together as many thoughts as I can today.
I feel you. On the flip side, National League, we're looking at Mets and Dodgers getting a bye. Which
Dodgers already crept back up to the top of the division, did they?
Coming into today, and then the wild card series matchups, you're looking at Reds at Cubs, Padres at Giants. I love, outside of the more obvious teams that you just have to imagine are going to be in there, across the board, AL, NL, I feel like I really like this field.
Yeah.
Like I really like this field. I mean,
I do too. It'd be exciting.
Personally, getting the Red Sox back in the postseason would be nice. It's been a minute. Getting one of those tenacious teams out of the AL Central. And then on the National League side, I have no idea how it would happen, but if you could somehow get the Reds in there, would love that. And then
swept in a doubleheader today from the Cardinals.
Nah, we're not going to talk about it. Again, this is coming into today. I don't know how many times I need to repeat that. But then you get the National League West. You get 3 representatives out of the West beating up on each other in the postseason. It could possibly line up. You get a Dodgers Padres rematch, which I would love. I mean, you got to think if there's any degree of fixing Major League Baseball, that Robbie Manfred is pulling every string he can to line up a Dodgers Padres postseason series. Safe to assume.
Yeah.
Is there a team as it stands right now? I feel like I know your answer. Is there a team on the National League side that you would rather see in place of one of these teams?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see the D-backs in it. I'd like to see the Phillies in it. Are they in it? I can't remember the wild card teams that you said.
No, the wild card as of right now, well, again, entry today, Reds at Cubs, Padres at Giants.
Yeah.
So the Mets would be the lone representative out of the East.
Yeah. I'd like to see the Phils in there. I think we know what Milwaukee is, man. I'm sorry. You can hate all you want. I think we know what that team looks like. I think we know what the Giants look like. I think props to the Giants. They're playing better ball than what most people expected. But I feel like we've seen this before. We've seen like hot starts from San Fran, and then it just fades. It fizzles. It just seemed like a team that lacks identity in my mind. But I love the Cubs right now. Like, just almost like must-watch TV right now with the Cubs.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a minute since we've had a rowdy Wrigley Field in October, right? Because it's been the Brewers here for what seems like the better part of it. I mean, when's the last time?
I want to give them a wild card appearance.
Yeah, but I'm talking like
since the World Series, right?
It was the COVID year. Remember, they lost. I think they lost to the Marlins because the Marlins. That was their. What was that bit they ran with the bottom feeders? You remember that?
Yeah.
That's the COVID year was the year they had that beat the Cubs in the wild card series. I think that was at home in Chicago.
But that's the opposite of rowdy.
Right. Yeah. Furthering the point. The playoff history though, dating back to 29th, dude, the Cubs, I did not realize it's been like Cubs fans got to be down bad right now. Missed the playoffs in 2024, 2023, 2022, 2021. You lost the NL wildcard series to the Marlins, as we mentioned. You missed the playoffs in 2019. You lost the NL wildcard in 2018. And 2017 was the last year you had a respectable run. You went to the NL Championship Series. And then obviously 16 World Series. But it's been a minute, man.
Yeah, they've been hurting.
We got to get the Cubs, especially, I mean, like we've been saying really for the last 2 months. They're making a go at this thing. And I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Chicago right now. And I feel like this is what we had maybe kind of hoped for their sake last year. I think a lot of people had Craig Counsell leading them to a little bit better of a season than they had. But the way that it's going for them this year, I have no problem putting them in the field.
Third year there?
Second
year. All right. So it takes a little time. That's cool. I just like what they're doing, man.
Well, let me ask you this.
I like that they push chips into the table and it's paying off.
If you're trying to bump the Phillies and the D-backs in, like if that's based on what we've seen after a month, if you're trying to slot them in, who are you willing to pull out of that field? Because for really no other reason other than, I know this may not move the needle for a lot of people, but getting to see Hunter Green in the postseason and Tito, I'd like to see the Reds.
Ellie,
well, yeah, Ellie, yeah.
Ellie
but
would be electric.
I'm drawn especially to the Hunter Green, just given my preseason picks. But I mean, if you leave the Reds and Cubs, that means you're pulling the Padres and Giants to slot in the D-backs and Phillies, which means you lose out on a potential Dodgers Padres, and I think that supersedes all of it.
My brain can't keep up with this at the moment. I can barely keep up when it's actually October.
That's fair. That's fair.
Blah, 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 blah. I mean, like I said, I think we know what the Giants are. I like the idea of the Reds, but you got to assume it takes more than a year to settle in, typically. So for Tito, that's why I asked about Craig Counsell, because I'm like, okay, 1 year of a grace period, and then you come in and it just starts to feel like your place again. So maybe that's the story for the Reds. Maybe Tito's first year there is a positive turn, but not necessarily a postseason berth. And then next year, you got some guys. I don't know. I like what the Reds are doing. I'm not against it.
Let me ask you this. Between the D-backs and Phillies, after a month, who would you rather see?
I mean, I have the D-backs in the World Series, so you know.
You're a man of integrity. You're going to stick by your pick.
I got to.
You're going to stick by your pick.
I got to. But I do feel, I don't know how it would line up, but a Phillies Cubs series at some point would be sick.
Phillies Cubs, Phillies Dodgers.
Sick.
I mean, anything at the bank. I was gonna say, yeah, anything at the bank is gonna pop.
Yeah.
And all right.
I'm a sucker for cold weather postseason baseball.
I mean, you're gonna get that in Philly.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Good stuff.
I'll say again, I like the field as it stands right now. Like, I know there's going to be people that turn their nose up at some of these teams, like the Reds, maybe even the Mariners.
Same thing, man. I feel like the Mariners are the Giants of the AL. Not as in like big humans. I'm talking the San Francisco Giants. Just choky. Just awfully choky. I could see it. I could see a bad month, and every Mariner fan is just ready to burn it down. You know, they're hitting more than I thought they would.
I was gonna say, let's not put the nail in the coffin for Mariners fans just yet. I think we know how it's gonna go. I think Mariners fans know how it's ultimately gonna go. But let them have this. At the very least, let them have this. Let them ride this high. Speaking of high, I don't know if it gets much higher for Aaron Judge.
Credit cannon.
Let's talk some credit cannon. I'm starting with your boy Aaron Judge. Look, this was coming into today, and did I see he had a home run again tonight against the O's?
And went 3 for 3.
and went 3 for 3. Okay, so basically throw this out the window because since April 16th, since the middle of the month, we'll call it, he came in today hitting 451, had an OPS of 1251. On the season, came in hitting 412, OPS of 1236, an OPS plus of 250, 9 homers. And this, honestly, all that's great. But what absolutely blows my... Okay, well, this is... the 412 average is like a 1B, but
it's up to 427 now.
He's okay. He's hitting 427 going into the month of May. That's otherworldly.
Yeah.
But okay, tell me this. What's his OBP at? Because coming in today, it was at 507, which is disgusting. Like you should not there. That shouldn't even be allowed.
Please hold.
It should, like, you get it to 499, and the league steps in. They say we're gonna have to do something about this because you're not. It's illegal.
521, and he's slugging 761 for an OPS of 1282.
Getting on base at a 50% clip, over a 50% clip for a month at the major league level, I'm going to need you folks to take a minute to wrap your head around that.
I've heard this conversation a few times, and I get that, like, the story is, like, of course going to be about postseason performance. It's going to be about the World Series performance, and that's what a lot of baseball fans, that's the taste they have in their mouth. But this is starting to, like, really work his way in as like doing some of the greatest hitter of all time type stuff. Like I don't know how else to say it. I think the only thing we're going to be robbed of is the fact that he just got a late start.
And look, people know how I feel about the team that he plays for. But just like as a baseball fan who's very much into witnessing these generational runs that you just don't see very often, I'm again taking off the fan hat, or the anti-fan hat in this scenario.
There you go.
And just being a baseball fan, I'm a little bothered at the fact that we didn't get Judge at 2021. I'm something crazy.
Yeah, I know.
And we didn't really get, we didn't get a full season of Judge until 25. That's, it kind of makes you wonder, like, why? Like, I mean, I know some guys are just late bloomers, but it's like clearly the skill set, like, was there. It just, I guess it just took a minute to develop, but my goodness, did it develop.
And now, like, the biggest argument of his against him is his strikeout percentage. He's down to 20% this year. That's below league average. League average is 22%. His career average is 27%. So he's getting better around the zone. Like, he's getting better at chasing. He's walking double the average rate, by the way. He's
silly.
Walking 16%.
It's silly is what it is. In the chat, he said it's almost like Judge decided average was his goal this year. And I'm looking at his numbers, and I know that people have seemingly, or maybe safe to say the majority of people have moved on from caring about batting average or using it as a metric. I understand that. But just looking back at his previous years, like last year he had 322, which was phenomenal. But then before that, you're looking 267, 311 was the 62 year. Then it was 287, 257, 272, 278. So like he hasn't been a bad hit for average guy necessarily, and I'm not saying 412 is sustainable, but it really, to your point about the strikeout rate, the chase rate, the walk rate, all those things, it just seems like his approach, there's some intentionality there that's different this year, which is interesting to see given what he's done the last few years and like why he would feel the need to change anything.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily called change, but like
or adjustments, tweaks, whatever you want to call it.
He keeps saying he's not even feeling himself yet. And I get that, like, that probably comes off as like a cocky thing, but like
I get it.
I think there's guys that like are watching him every day. He's like, yeah, he hasn't even like found his groove yet. Because you look at his expected batting average, it's 348. So he's hitting like balls off the end. He's hitting little loopy line drives that, you know, are kind of creeping over the shortstop. Like, and it sounds crazy, but like 10 home runs this month, and he wasn't ever really like truly leading the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like he's not running away in that category. There's tons of guys in that 8, 9, 10 range in the league. So it's like, this is a fantastic month, but it's like he's doing this without any protection behind him. Cody Bellinger's been hitting third primarily. Now, Boone kind of switches up the lineup sometimes, and if they face a righty, I think they're dropping him down to third. But even then, like there's not a ton of production behind him. So it's just crazy to see that he's doing this after Soto is gone. It's wild, man. And it's like, it's fun to watch. And I understand. I understand Yankee hate. I understand the argument of his postseason performances so far. But like, I think if you can put that stuff aside and just kind of witness greatness, I recommend watching. And it's really cool to see him go through an at-bat. And it reminds me of some of the best hitters I've ever watched. And it reminds me of the way Manny Ramirez would kind of bait pitchers. It reminds me of the way that, like, put all the other stuff aside, but it reminds me of the way of like how he does what's expected, the way Barry Bonds just did what everyone expected him to do when he got in the box. Like he delivers, and it's over and over again. And it's seemingly super effortless. And to be honest with you, like, he's kind of a cool guy. Like he's not super flashy. He doesn't, I don't know. I like the way he plays the game. And it's insane to see this happening for real. Like, I don't know the last time someone hit 400 in a month and qualified for at-bats.
All right. We've gone on long enough. I gave him his flowers.
I feel good.
I feel like I had a lot of integrity there, a lot of credibility, and just kind of let that segment ride. But we got to move on.
I'm just glad he got a cannon. That's what this segment's about.
Speaking of the cannon, how about you lob it up for me and pull the cord on this next one?
I lobbed it up.
Got to pull the cord.
What cord?
Give me a
the
lob
cannon
it.
cord?
Give me a lob it and pull it. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Max Fried. God, another Yankee.
Whoops.
On the season, He didn't go tonight, did he?
I don't know.
I think I've on the year
Stupid work got in my way today.
5-0. No, he didn't go today. 5-0.
Roki Carrasco.
That's right. He got dealt the loss. On this season, Nate, well deserving of the credit cannon. 5-0, a 1.19 ERA, a WHIP of 104, just three. Count them. 1, 2, 3 earned runs over his last 5 starts. Currently on a 13 2/3 innings scoreless streak. To your point, has been looking very, very good. A very important part of what the Yankees are doing right now. And should he stay healthy, presumably will be at the forefront of any sort of lengthy run they can go on in October.
Yeah, this is like my ultimate fear. It's like, can he just stay healthy? Can we get 30 starts? Can we get 28 starts out of him? I don't know, man. I don't know. Braves fans know more than I do, but looks good. Looks real good. I think one of the biggest things I appreciate about Max Fried, watching him more regularly now, is how freaking good he is defensively. Like, he is an animal on the mound.
Loves his fundamentals.
Yeah, dude. And like moves really well. Just no wasted movement defensively. That's one of those things where like you don't really notice the bad, but you notice like the really good. And he's like, he might win a Gold Glove. I think he's won one before.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got. Why do I feel like he's got multiple?
He's a stud defensively, man.
I mean, to be honest with you, we've talked about it. I'm kind of out on the Gold Glove, but
yeah,
for stuff like this, it's notable.
Yeah.
He's got 3.
Hey-oh, yeah.
20, 21, 22.
Yeah. I wasn't familiar with that side of it. But he's cool, man. He just seems like just all business. He calls his own pitches, which I didn't know either.
Love that.
Just keeps it on his belt. Just hits little buttons on his belt.
I'd say it's working. But you mentioned the Braves. I mean, I'm going to use every opportunity I can to kick Braves fans while they're down, because I would venture to say they're not going to be down for much longer. So Braves fans, just indulge me. Just let me have this moment. How does it feel to be a Braves fan right now, seeing Max Fried doing what he's doing, knowing that Spencer Strider's on the shelf again, and you have Chris Sale not replicating what he did last year? And also, by the way, I'm pretty sure he took the L against the Rockies of all teams today. Which I think it was like a 2-1 game, but still, I mean,
yeah, it's for the Rockies.
It's the Rockies. There shouldn't be
and I would have got them back
in the
to
tally.
500 on the month, which would have been kind of crazy. I think they're feeling okay. I think Braves fans are feeling okay, all things considered. But yeah, man, it's definitely not easy to watch guys leave your squad and go succeed the next year elsewhere. Yeah, and same thing. Like, outside of the no-hit bid, I haven't really seen what I feel like Max Fried has like in the tank quite yet. He's just done a really good job of like, he gets himself in trouble pretty often, and he just works out of it.
We get it. Your all world players right now are like sick with the flu. They're like 50%. We get it, dude. The Yankees are going to be world beaters here in a couple weeks once these guys really start clicking. We get it.
That's word for word what I was saying. Just couldn't let me enjoy this one, huh?
I'm letting you enjoy it, but I'm tired of hearing about how good of a hockey team the Soviets have. Nah, it's a the next up in line. Andy Pages. He is currently on, coming into today, forgive me, because I don't remember when I pulled these numbers, because they had a day game today against the Marlins. And I'm not sure if the hit that he got today added to his 8-game hitting streak or got him to his 8-game hitting streak. But nonetheless, he is currently riding an 8 or 9-game hitting streak.
8.
During that stretch, 4 homers, 9 ribbies, 3 swipes. On the season's hitting 298. Again, this is as of earlier today. 298, 6 homers. A week ago was hitting 183 and has bumped it up over 100 points in just a week.
This is just my episode. Daddy picked him up in fantasy last week.
I can't get a win.
Real nice. Well, if it makes it feel any better, I'm going to lose to somebody who doesn't even check their lineup.
Actually, I've got a win. I've got a win coming up here soon.
Yeah. Kid looks good, man. Kid looks good. And I think you got to just let it ride. You know what I mean? I know that they're like, I know Conforto has to get his time. Obviously, Teoscar has to stay in the lineup as often as possible. You have these days where Tommy Edman's in the outfield too. So like, I know they kind of rotate between all of these guys, but like with the way he's hitting, it's a hot hand. You got to let it go. Not surprised. Not surprised. I mean, like you hear these names that the Dodgers just, they spring on, and then like you get caught up with all the free agents, you get caught up with all the trades, and you just forget that they have a lot of ridiculous talent that's coming up and they're young. And so it's cool, man. Like it creates that competitive, like, hey, if you want to be in this lineup, you gotta outplay some dogs. You know what I mean? And he's doing it.
Next up, Jake Irvin, and he really let me down because I had him slotted for the credit cannon tonight. Knowing that he was making a start against the Phils tonight, but I thought, you know what, he'll come through because he's come through in his last 4 starts. He did not. He had a bit of a fart start. He went 6 innings, but gave up 6 earned runs on 8 hits, allowing 3 walks, and just had his 2 Ks. But prior to that, the reason
love a good fart start.
The reason he had his name added to the credit cannon list for tonight, the 4 starts prior to tonight's, he had 26 strikeouts over 20 2/3, allowing just 3 runs over that span and 2 walks. His last start, not counting today, against the Mets, he went the red hot Mets, mind you, went 7 1/3 and gave up just 1 earned run. So maybe the Nats have found a little something in Jake Irvin for the 2025 season. I mean, on the year he's sporting a 4.01, but a couple bad starts here will obviously do that to you this early in the season. But if he can give you what he's given you over the prior 4 start span, I mean that's another reason for Nats fans to be excited. Because I mentioned last episode, Mitchell Parker, again, his last start, a little bit of a fart start, but on the year prior to that, Mitchell Parker is another name. And then you've got Mackenzie Gore doing what Mackenzie Gore is doing. Then a name that I wish was doing more.
Tell me.
Oh boy. I knew this was going to happen. I was going to try to give him his credit.
Trevor Williams.
Yes. What happened? What happened, Trevor Williams? Is he hurt right now? Or is he just not?
He's just stanking.
Yeah. Yeah, not great. 5.70 ERA, whip of 1.53, 1-3 on the year.
Man.
Yeah. we really saw flash in the pan with him last year. But man, if he could have been another one of those like mid-rotation guys that was giving you good quality starts, talking about not a half bad rotation.
I'm trying to figure out how Mitchell Parker has a 2.65 ERA. Bro's walked 16 guys. And he's got a 4.8 Ks per nine.
That's called managing traffic.
I guess. Pretty good.
You know who else is pretty good, Nate? You're going to like this one. Alex Bregman. I know last episode I said, well, this is really just kind of like a what have you done in the last week or two thing, or maybe even slightly more than that. But I'm looking at Alex Bregman's start to the year.
That's pretty good.
On the year, you want to talk about a guy that's settled in. 31 games, 7 homers. He had one tonight against the Jays. He's got 11 doubles, 24 ribbies. He's even got a swipe to his name.
11 doubles is nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Did I mention he's hitting 328 with an OPS of 985?
Deece.
This is what we hoped for. Ooh,
yeah,
in the chat, Alex Bregman's the best third baseman in the game this year. Is there truth to that? Am I missing something? Am I just like completely overlooking somebody right now? I mean, this might be.
I feel like this position has had a bit of a fall off. I'm not saying like that's why Bregman.
Oh yeah, dude. Far and away, Bregman's been the best third baseman this year. Eugenio Suarez, really just due to home runs, is even in the conversation. But like, you want to look at OPS, Bregman's what did I say? Well, as MLB showing me 985, but Eugenio Suarez 833, Austin Riley 787, Jose Ramirez, who usually is just cruising. I mean, he's got 5 jacks, but he's got an OPS right now 770.
Slow start.
Far and away the best third baseman in baseball right now.
Yep. This is what I feared. Good righty in Fenway can go a long way, man.
But what I'm curious about,
this is an opt-out trajectory right here.
We don't want to talk about that.
Just saying. I think he likes it there, though. It seems like he likes it, right?
I think he loves it. Let me ask you this, though, because I'm kind of in the weeds given the team that he plays for. What's the perception around Bregman right now? I genuinely don't know elsewhere around the league because he's in Boston, so I'm kind of just like in my own little world here. But in the year 2025, how has it evolved?
Honestly, under the radar. Like he's not being talked about that much. Not for having a month like this.
No. Not sorry. I should have clarified. Not like perception as a player, but the baggage that he's carried with him over the better part of a decade now. Coming over from Houston, where are we at? Like I
feel like it helps leaving Houston.
That's what I'm saying. Like from the little bit I've seen, I mean, the boos are like very faint in comparison to previous years. I just don't feel like you said, I think leaving Houston is huge, but I haven't seen much or heard much.
Leaving Houston helped. And I will say of the group, like the core of names that got under everyone's skin, he seemed to do it the best way. Like he seemed to respond the best way. He seemed to,
which is what I had been saying that for years. He just he took his lumps and kept his head down.
And he's not as unlikable as Correa. He's younger and better than Springer. And Altuve's just never going to shake it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it.
Where are you at with these City Connects for the Marlins and the White Sox? I'm pretty sure they were exactly as originally leaked, if I'm not mistaken.
Are these leaks on purpose?
Dude, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We haven't had...
The leaks aren't like these like sneaky picture, like when no one's looking and it's like on the shelf or on the hanger. These are like just full on like, yeah.
This is what we're looking like. Well, this isn't the leak image, but this is what we're looking at for the White Sox, which again, pretty much exactly as portrayed in the leak. I don't think there is much, if any, of a difference between the two. But like, I guess kudos on an attempt to make a connection outside of the walls of your ballpark, because it seems to be the trend recently where, again, my whole gripe with this thing is that they lost the plot. We had like, they were connecting things to city. You go back to like the original Nats City Connect, which personally I think was one of the best examples of like truly connecting to the city.
I agree.
With the cherry blossoms, and people are like, what is this about?
Like the monuments.
Yeah, like the granite, that kind of stuff. You'll learn about a little bit about the city, but then they just lost the plot, and then it was like, we're just cranking out alternates now as a money. I mean, these things are always money making machines at the end of the day, but it became much more obvious down the stretch. So I mean, kudos to them on that effort. It seemed like there was a substantial amount of White Sox fans that I saw at the very least on social that were curious, like, when can we buy this? So I'm like, if the fans of the team like them, what opinion does how does my opinion matter? Like, if they're gonna buy them, then good on them. Do you have any thoughts on this one in particular?
It seems like a jersey giveaway night to the first 10,000 fans. I like it. I think it's kind of cool. I don't like the hat and I don't like the pants. I think the jersey standalone works. I don't like black pants.
Well, it's good news because the Marlins are going with white, with the pink piping. How you feel about this one? Got the 305 on the lid, which I like in concept. I'm all about Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, 305, Miami, Dale. I'm all about that. Give me more of that. But on a hat, does it work? Hard to say. But I'm not gonna sit here and dump on it because I don't feel strongly enough to do so. I think
the bill ain't it. I think if the bill was black or teal, it would work. But like,
or even pink, but like the gradient. Why are teams obsessed with these Photoshop gradients where it's like, solid colors are cool too, guys. Like we don't.
There's such a resurgence of like 80s and 90s swag that like it's kind of getting to this try hard point. I think the hat would be sick with just a black bill. I don't think pink. I don't like the pink. I like the pink on the sleeve.
No, because if you look at Sandy's hat, you can't see it as well on the other. But if you look at Sandy's hat and you see that bit of pink on the side there, if you take that across the brim, but
not like reflective. I don't want this like,
it's a gradient.
Nighttime jogger reflective thing. It looks shiny.
It does. I don't know.
It looks shiny. I said when the leak came out, I said that if you were to just take Miami off the chest, like take the logos off and keep those lines, I'm pretty sure Nike Golf has released some polos
with that exact design.
Yeah. I'm almost positive.
I'm indifferent about these. I mean, I guess they're cool because mostly due to the fact that I think that color combo is just prime. It's hard to find, to me at least. If it's done right, like the Heat, for example, like their Vice unis that they did, those are money.
If anyone, I don't know anybody from Miami. I wonder if this is just like a tired theme.
Yeah,
is it just worn out a little bit?
I'd be curious. I mean, when I was down there was that October? I'm walking like a lot of these popular streets with the restaurants and the hotels and all that stuff, and they got a lot of the souvenir shops, and it was almost exclusively that color combo. Yeah. So I don't know if they just think that the people coming at, like the newcomers that are rolling, like the travelers that are rolling into town, if they just eat it up and it's working and they stick with it, or if that really just is what the city like fully like leans into. I don't know. It's hard to say. But the biggest takeaway here though is why you would undo what you had with your original City Connect. That was top tier.
You already had it.
The Sugar Kings. I mean, that was top tier.
That was exactly what we're talking about. These are just alternates.
That's
not bad. I'm glad they're wearing white pants though.
Yeah.
White pants looks good.
Nice touch. Blanco
Pantalones.
Pantalones Blanco. Adjective comes second.
I don't need that.
Dude, I've got like
I don't think I need that.
I've got a 108-day Duolingo streak. So, if you're gonna try to pull a fast one, maybe try to pull it on somebody that's not fluent, because I'm looking at 108. It's an app where you educate yourself on a language, and I'm all in on Spanish right now.
What do you do?
Right now we're in
flashcards. Daily flashcards.
Different sorts of activities.
Are you just driving to work? Quesadilla.
No, right now we're going through the school section, so learning about computadoras and bibliotecas and
nice.
I mean, these are things I already knew. I'm really just refreshing because, again, I'm basically fluent at this point.
I think everybody knows biblioteca. Is Meredith fluent?
No, but she knows it better. As a Puerto Rican, she's better at it than I am for sure. She carried us on our honeymoon when we were in Panama. Carried us because I was out with what I think was one of the first cases of COVID. Like truly, I think
those early days.
It was
no one knew.
It was here. Yeah, it was here. We just didn't know it. Mm-hmm. And so I'm pretty much down for the count on our honeymoon, and we're in Panama. Can't really understand a word of what's being said to me or what's going on, and she carried the weight for us. So credit to her.
She's a Puerto
Rican. Yep.
I'm a quarter Mexican, and it doesn't seem that way at all. Outside of my last name.
It sure doesn't.
My wife thinks it's fake. She thinks she changed her last name for nothing.
For show. I don't know, man. You got the cooking gene. I don't know if that's what translates or what, but you can cook up a mean,
maybe so,
a mean taco. All right, let's close the book here. First off, just some real unfortunate news out of Pittsburgh. I don't know. Did you see the video?
I didn't see this yet. I don't know if I want to see it.
It's kind of, I mean, it's not kind of, like, it is very jarring.
It's tough to watch.
It's tough, man, because that thing's what? Didn't they make it 21 feet? It's the Clemente wall. I think they made it like 21 feet. I mean, that's a steep fall.
Yeah.
But what's crazy, and like, it sounds like he's in critical condition. I think he's getting, worked on. I don't know what the latest is, but, and I don't want to like speculate, but like it's weird because it almost just looked intentional, but I don't know if like alcohol was involved or what, but it's,
Do you have the clip?
Yeah, but I don't want to play it on here.
Why?
It's not, that's upsetting, man. I don't want to put that on people if they're not trying to watch.
I'm trying to watch.
Well, then pull it up.
You.
No.
Go.
No.
You got it right there. You're ready.
No, I actually don't have it. I watched it earlier. Multiple times, in fact, because I was really trying, like, there's one video that has quality clear enough to where you can really see what's happened, but
I was reading through our group chat because shout out Bridge to Bucktober in hanging out live. Josh is in our fantasy league, so obviously he's super.
Yeah, he said don't play that on here.
Oh,
so
it's that bad.
He's got the final call. So
he's definitely in touch with the Pirates. When I was reading through the group chat because I was at work, I didn't like super in depth with it. I thought it was the bridge. I thought someone fell off the bridge, and I didn't know it was like during a baseball game, like anything related that way. So, dang, that's tough.
Not good. Very tough. Hopefully all things work out there.
I hope that there's, I hope that everything works out, and I do hope that there's, I don't want to say like accountability, but like if there was beverages involved, you know what I mean? Like it's tough, man. You put the team, you put an organization, you put like this situation in like a difficult place because are they gonna alter the guardrail or you know what I mean? Like, are those things gonna start to come into play here? But like maybe they should. I don't know. It's odd. And
I mean, it didn't seem like there was much up there in terms of there was a railing, but it seems like there maybe could be more.
Dude, like Fenway scared me. I'm not really scared of heights, but that that was tough.
Yeah,
I don't think I could sit up there all day.
If you've been up on that monster, that's, I mean, my goodness.
And like reach for like a home run. That's like, you know what I mean? Like if there's something that's like close and within reach, like I don't know.
Yeah. All in all, though, it's sad to see. And like I said, hope everything works out there for him, his family, his friends, everybody involved. You hate to see things like that. Couple more items here. Did you see the Dalton Varsho catch by chance from yesterday?
That was wild.
Fantastic catch. And I don't want to take anything away from the athleticism or lack thereof, depending upon how you look at it. But people, I don't know. Like, am I in the minority here? Like the fact that he's like tripping and falling all over the place is ultimately what put him in the position to make the catch in the first place. So it's like
just a good recovery,
a fantastic recovery. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from that. But people are like, Dalton Varsho, are you kidding me? It's like he's not Jim Edmonds out there. Like he tripping all over himself.
I think some of these youths just didn't see center field played the way we did.
Well, I'm not gonna pull the old man yelling at the clouds.
I will. Jim Edmonds.
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's compare Dalton Varsho to one of the greatest of all time.
Grady Sizemore.
Okay.
Dude, you want to see the greatest catch of all time. Look up Gary Matthews Jr.
Fantastic. That was in Texas, if I recall.
Ridiculous. That's one of the greatest catchers ever.
That was a ballpark at Arlington, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, just good on Varsho for being athletic enough to recover, but let's not act like this is the play of the century because it's not. Anyway, Braves option Jared Kelenic after signing former, I guess he's a friend for life to the Braves, but Eddie Rosario coming back to the ATL, option Kelenic to AAA. And Rosario will serve as really just a bench guy.
Well, I think you and I can both speak to it. Braves fans, enjoy the ups and downs of Alex Verdugo. Because, boy, are those valleys low.
Yeah, I can speak. I can also speak to that for sure.
Yeah. I think from what I could tell, Braves fans are pretty tired of this song and dance. They love it with Jesse Chavez, but they don't love it with Eddie
Flip
Rosario.
of the coin. Flip of the coin.
A little hypocritical.
Unless you already know. Do you know the status of Jesse Chavez right now?
I think he's back.
Take your guess, and
I think he's back.
I want to confirm.
I think he's back.
Is he back?
I think he's back. Because I think he opted out. Like they wanted to send him down, then he opted out, and then they brought him back again.
Am I reading this? Is there truth to this? The Braves announced that they outrighted Jesse Chavez at Gwinnett, but he elected free agency.
Right, but I thought he came back after that.
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, so he's out again. It really is a flip of the coin. I don't get that either, honestly.
I need to hold on. Surely his Wikipedia is updated. It'll say if he's a free agent.
It's tough. I feel like there's better sources.
Yeah, he's gone.
Annoying. That was an annoying story. So was Kelenic.
Dude, now the Kelenic thing's whatever, but the Jesse Chavez thing is wild.
Snit should have benched him. Now it just really looks stupid.
Last thing here. Did you see the whole Roki Sasaki toilet thing?
I did not. Fill me in.
So it came out the other day, earlier this week, that
Do I want to know?
I mean, you're a big toilet guy. So I feel like this applies.
Love the toilet.
Roki Sasaki, apparently in the offseason when he was negotiating deals with teams, got to his conversation with the Dodgers and asked if there was going to be Japanese style toilets, to which then the Dodgers said, yeah, we'll get right on that, guy, and went ahead and upgraded the clubhouse and the facilities. And turns out that he reportedly was like partially joking, but also was confirmed as saying that it sounds like a joke, but for me, it's pretty important. So Mans loves his Japanese style toilets, which I can understand. Like if that's all you've ever known,
look,
that's
don't mess with my pooping routine. You know
that's
what I mean?
I'm saying.
Can you pull up a Japanese toilet?
Yeah.
Are these on the floor? I feel like they're like a really low toilet.
As opposed to one floating from the air?
I mean like flush with the floor, no pun intended.
Ugh. Bro, what? No. Who?
See, these are the real questions that need to be asked.
Is this the real thing? Am I looking at a Japanese style toilet right now? Yeah, in the chat, something about a bidet. I thought it was more about the bidet, but I'm seeing a lot of toilets in ground.
The bidet was European.
Nah, well done. There's no way.
I get on board with a bidet.
Oh, it seems like squat toilets is what I'm looking at. It's where it's like the in-ground toilets. It seems like those are flush with the ground, but I'm reading that those are becoming outdated. So there must be a new thing that he's after, that he got.
I want to see.
Dude, I don't know. Look it up.
Come on.
The one that I'm looking at right now looks like it has some sort of bidet thing going on.
Japanese toilet.
We don't need to go into more depth about this.
This looks like a standard trash can.
Well, we're talking about toilets.
That flat one is wild.
Talking about toilets. That'll
Nobody's
do it.
Sitting down there.
No, that'll do it. You got anything else?
It looks like the armrest of an airplane. You got to change the channel. You know? And then your elbow hits the volume down on accident in the middle of your movie.
Yeah. You got anything else before we get out of here?
Look,
good stuff.
These look not too far
We love
off
y'all.
from the regular toilets.
And as always, let's get out of here.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you guys. We love y'all. And as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.